Good morning. We're live with another edition of Coffee with Curare. We're here with urgent news today to talk directly to our clients on how to hire the best physicians and have the best possible hiring process in order to streamline your hires and get them into your facility to work sooner, create revenue, and provide for your patients and your community. I'm here today with Ian Sons. We're really excited about this topic, as I hope you can tell. We're going to be talking about hiring physicians today. I'm going to hand it off to Ian Sons to get us started.
My excitement level is at a 10, almost 11, off the charts. Seriously, I'm going to take it down a notch though. But I am excited because we have some really good tips and tricks, I think, to make sure that we are really able to advocate for your opportunities, but more importantly, you're able to attract the type of candidates and quality of candidates that you're looking for. Really what we found is it all comes down to the level of detail that we are able to provide to a physician about your job, plain and simple. And really, the easier it is for us to answer whatever questions we anticipate them having, the smoother that process is going to go. So just as an example, I recently was able to connect with a client that searched out Curare, and they have quite a few new job opportunities in a really competitive market in North Carolina. And part of their process is they've provided me with some incredibly detailed information, not just about their practice sites, exact location, dates when they want to hire people, but they've also given me a breakdown of the compensation, of exactly how the bonus plans work, what the scheduling options are. They've got part-time, full-time, they've got 8-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts. They've also given me the breakdown of how ownership with the group works and the type of revenue that can be generated. They provided me with a detailed explanation of their benefits package. So they've really given me everything that I need to be able to effectively sell the position, as well as anticipate any questions that doctors have. Both Jerry and I have done this for a really long time, and we know that usually the first thing that a physician is going to ask about when they call in on a job is, where is it located and how much are they paying?
Yep.
That's almost always the first questions. Now, we certainly don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, so we recognize that there are some employers out there that might be hesitant to provide us a number, but please know that we are able to be judicious with that information, and we're only going to represent something that you're comfortable with. We don't ever want to put you in a spot where we've offered maybe the maximum that leaves you no room to negotiate.
Right.
So we're very much aware of how this process works, but enabling us to really advocate for you is something that I think you likely want, because when we send a candidate your way and we've been able to effectively screen them with this type of volume of info that I'm talking about, you get them on the phone, they're excited about the job, they really are eager to move forward. You know this is someone that you're not going to have to go and kind of redouble our work and have redundant effort where you're telling them, well, this is the schedule, this is
Right.
how much money you're going to make, this is how the bonus works, and then all of a sudden you find out that doesn't work for them. So again, by providing us an excellent level of detail, and we've got tons of questions that we can ask, and hopefully you're able to give us as much time as you can. But by doing so, it's going to streamline your process, allow us to handle so much of the legwork that you get somebody on the phone and it's pretty smooth sailing. Do they have the skill set you need? Do they have the personality that you think is going to work well?
Mm-hmm.
And from there you can decide if you want to move forward because they already know about the job and they're excited about it.
Right, and one thing I want to touch on that you mentioned is the partnership that we have between us and our clients. I think as clients, you work with a lot of firms. There's a lot of choices out there. I hope that we're amongst the first firms that you dial up when you're looking for a new candidate. But whether you're working with us or whether you're working with one of our many competitors, I think a key is to treat those recruiting firms that you hold in high regard as partners in your effort. Because we're here trying to pre-screen your applicants, search out your applicants, and bring them to your doorstep already knowing everything that you've let us know about the opportunity. Now, if you only let us know that, hey, the opportunity is an outpatient family practice job in our community here in Central North Carolina, that's all we're able to pass on to the candidates. So you might get a candidate that all they know about is about your job is that it's in your community. And when you start telling the details, you might get 30 seconds into the call and it's a dead call. And that's what we could have helped screened out had we known about that detail.
Right.
And our goal as a recruiting firm is to save you time and money in your recruitment efforts by bringing you really well pre-screened candidates that are going to be excited about your job opportunity. And along those lines, the constant theme that's working against us is time. Our number one rule in physician recruiting is time kills deals. Most physicians that interview, say on a first day of the month, they're going to accept that position within 60 days. If it drags out past 60 days, it probably isn't going to happen. A lot of times it happens within 30 days of the interview that they clamp down on. So it's really important to move your process along and have goals of each candidate that you're working with. Is this is when we're going to bring them in for an interview. This is when we're going to bring her in for an offer. This is when we're going to get her credentialed. So on and so forth down the line. You got to have these goals set aside to create the job description, to get it out to your partnering firms, to be ready to take the screened applicants in, and then be ready to interview them very shortly thereafter. That's a big key. Whether you're getting a candidate from your online advertising sources, from one of our competitors, from us, no matter what, when you get that candidate, if somebody's doing their job like we do, they know that they're going to be receiving a call shortly thereafter from your desk. And if that call's delayed when they know their CV's been sent out, the clock is ticking on their faith for your opportunity, and the first impression will never be given another chance to be made. So it's really important to step out of your comfort zone right then and there and at least touch base. And then throughout the process, all the way to the point where they either sign your contract or to the point that they're no longer interested, communication is king. I think you can never over-communicate with a candidate, but what you can do is oversell your opportunity, and that's not what you want to do. You don't want to beg people to join your team. You want people that want to join your team, are excited and eager to join your team at the offer that you're willing to present, or maybe shortly above or below that offer. Needless to say, though, you got to be planning ahead for each one of these stages of the recruitment effort with each candidate before they're actually occurring, so you know you're going to cut them off at the pass and be there when they're ready to make their decisions.
You're so right about that, Jerry. And just to add a little bit to what you're saying, you know, when we are screening someone for an opportunity and we're going to be presenting them for your job, we really try to get their level of enthusiasm as high as possible. We get them excited about the position. We tell them who they're going to be speaking to, if there's interest, if there's mutual interest, and we try to really get everything up on a tee for you, really. And so like you said, if we've taken that effort, the candidate's excited, they say, oh, okay, Ian, thank you so much. I say, I'm going to be sending your CV here today. Hopefully you'll hear from someone soon. If a few days go by and then it's a week, they're talking to other employers, you're going to miss your chance. You know, sometimes it's not the employer that has the best job. Sometimes it's the employer that's the most decisive.
Absolutely.
And is ready to take action. So, you know, one of the best things you can do to put yourself in a position where you get to choose if this is a candidate you want to hire or not is to make it a priority to reach out to them as quickly as possible, make that initial phone call, and just know one way or the other. Are they viable? Are they not? Can you move forward? Can you not? If you could guarantee that a candidate that's been submitted to you is going to receive contact in 48 to 72 hours, I guarantee that your efforts in terms of recruitment would improve dramatically. It is all about timing and making sure that people feel valued and they're wanted. Just like you want to know someone wants your job, a physician candidate wants to know they're wanted by you.
In our industry as well, we're in the unique position where the folks that we're recruiting, the physicians in particular, are highly talented individuals, highly sought after in a market that's extremely short on labor. And so now, staying in touch even after they sign your agreement and agree to work with you, there's sometimes start dates that are delayed in between, like, say, 3 months to up to a year in between the signing of the contract and the start date. And Ian brought up a good point in the sense that there's always people coming after these candidates, always new employers that are reaching out and trying to get these people to maybe even change their mind after they sign a contract. So again, when you have those gaps from the time they sign a contract to the time they start, if you want to ensure that somebody's going to be there for the first day of work, stay in touch with them, stay in communication, feel the pulse of them, and kind of make sure that they're still happy with everything, make sure there's nothing that you could do for them. Always offer to do more. Say, what could I do to acclimate you to the community? Is there anything I could look up? Is there anything I could do? And the key is here, maybe you won't have to do any work for them because they're very independent, smart folks. But the key is just staying in touch and showing you care.
Yep.
And that goes a long way.
Sure does. So, I mean, I think overall, like we said, making sure that you're very clear about your time expectations, you're setting goals for when things need to be accomplished, staying in good contact with any candidates that you are interested in, so that way you can make a decision sooner than later if they're viable for you, making sure we've got the details we need to really effectively advocate for your position and do the best job that we can possibly do, because that's what we want. We want to provide the highest level of service that we can. So help us do that, get us all the details, and we promise you're going to have excellent candidates delivered to you very quickly.
Yep, and in closing, I'd say one of the best ways to streamline your hiring process is to give us a call and put us to work for your most pressing needs, and we will be there to help. We're going to sign off on Coffee with Curare this week. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Go Hoosiers.